Footbap Nation!
Let's ride!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Fantasy Footbaps podcast. It's me, Brandon, joined by my co-host, Paul. Paul, say what up.
What up, fellas?
All right, so last week was a fucking shit show. I mean, we went over the Dewey and Chip trade. That was, the treason that went down there. And then more shit hit the fan after that. Honestly, maybe we get into that before we go into the lineups. What do you think about that?
Yeah, people might be a little confused if they look at.
Yeah, because they'll look at a certain team that has no one that they had before in their lineup. Let's go into that real quick. All right, so we're just gonna go to the recent activity, and we'll just go over last week's recent activity first. We don't want to spoil anything that happened this week because we can go over that later on. So after we recorded, so this was after we recorded, right? Or did this trade happen while we were recording? The Jonathan Taylor one happened
literally while it happened.
Yeah. Yep. So for anyone that doesn't remember, first of all, for anyone that doesn't remember, or if for some reason you have forgotten, Dewey traded. Wait a second. What the fuck is this? Is this the trade that was? Yeah. So Dewey traded Bijan Robinson, George Kittle, and Jordan Love for Alexander Madison and Jared Goff. What a fucking joke, dude. Not that Paul was too far off from this one.
Hey, come on.
But as we know, Dewey admitted that he wasn't even making a winning move there, which I still don't think Paul was making winning moves, but we'll get to that in a second. But obviously, I actually ended up getting vetoed, and Chip vetoed it himself. That was the last person that I was asking who veto. I knew 3 people that had vetoed it. I think I know who the 4th one was, but I still just couldn't. I didn't know who the fuck the 5th one was, but I guess it was Chip. But either way, while we were recording, Dewey traded Jonathan Taylor to Paul for Saquon and Kyler Murray. What did Saquon do? Probably nothing, right? Yeah, 6.6. Yeah. Paul, do you think you'd rather have at this point in time Saquon Barkley or Sam Laporta?
I'd probably have Sam Laporta because Taysom Hill's not working. But
that's what I thought, Paul.
But I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor than Sam Laporta.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, what did Johnny do? I don't even know. 14.
Pretty well. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, his yards per carry. So that was that went down. Kyler looked really good. I'm not gonna lie, Paul. Who's your quarterback? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So after we got off the next morning, Dewey and Chip made a 4-man trade, and this one I thought was pretty equal, like all around. Like I think both of them won the trade, if that makes sense. Like they both improved their teams. So Chip traded away Tyler Lockett, Devontae Adams, his arch nemesis, Jake Ferguson, and Ramondre Stevenson to Dewey for Joe Mixon, Michael Pittman Jr., George Kittle, and Christian Watson. And I would say out of everyone in there, the worst player there is Christian Watson, like by a mile, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that like Dewey is getting like Ramondre's all right, Lockett's hit or miss, Devontae's having a down year, Jake Ferguson is awesome, so that was good. And then for Chip's point of view, Chip gets Joe Mixon, who's solid, Michael Pittman Jr., who's solid, and then George Kittle, who's good. So I think it evens out. Like I think that this was an even trade, so that was good. Apparently, Nick added Derek Carr. Hilariously, we'll get into that. Nick added Derek Carr. I added Derek Carr in my work league too because I had Jalen Hurts on a bye. I don't know if you know, but Derek Carr got hurt in the game.
Yep, he had like 2 points or something.
Yeah, luckily I won in my work league, but I think that played a part in Nick's game this week, but I can't remember. I know looking at it at one point, Nick's game was close and thinking like, wow, if he had a different quarterback, but I don't know if that ended up being the case at the end. Okay, Corman added Martavis Bryant.
Why?
Because he got signed to some team. Who did he get signed by? Yeah, he got signed by someone.
The
Dallas.
Practice squad of Dallas.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. So Gorman picked up Martavis Bryant. I picked up a kicker to replace my kicker who was on a bye. Mike with a fucking steal. He picks up Noah Brown. Now, I was shocked that no one picked up Noah Brown last week. I didn't want him because I already had Tank Dell and I didn't want 2 Houston receivers, but like Mike gets Noah Brown for free. That was kind of bizarre. Like Paul, you could have fucking used Noah Brown. No one.
Yeah.
I don't even think. Let's see if anyone even put an offer this day in on it. No. What the
Oh,
fuck is
not
this? That's Sunday.
well.
That's
You might have
Sunday.
remembered. You might recall it last week. I was very confident in Jerry Judy.
Yeah, that's
So
disgusting.
yeah.
You have Nico Collins too. You could have. You had. You could have picked up Noah Brown. All right, whatever. And then I dropped Gerald Everett and picked up the Lions defense. So originally, I still don't know what I'm going to do. Originally, I was like, I picked them up because I was like, all right, they play Chicago and the Lions defense is good. Well, now the Lions defense looks like shit and Chicago gets Justin Fields back. And I don't know if I feel comfortable playing them. I might still end up playing them, but I honestly don't know. And then so another trade goes down, and now this is basically Dewey and Chip Part 2 treason. Okay.
I wouldn't say so.
Paul traded Brian Robinson, the 4th best running back, and DK Metcalf, 37th, but he's missed a couple games, I think, right? Yeah, he's missed 2 games. And DK Metcalf, I would say in I mean, I guess technically in RB1, they haven't had a bye. I don't know how far away he is from, let's see, 13.2 points per game. Basically, like a borderline RB1, like a high RB2, and a wide receiver 2. for Taysom Hill, Alexander Madison, and Jordan Addison. Now, granted, what just happened last week was Kirk Cousins got injured for the whole season, and Justin Jefferson is going to be coming back soon. So, Paul, tell us, explain to the people what thought went into this, if any, and you are welcome to admit that you didn't think hard about this and were just trying to make trades because you were mad at DK Metcalf.
I do not like DK Metcalf because it all comes down to that, I don't know, what was it, week 3 or 4 trade when I traded Amon-Ra for DK essentially, and that's just haunted me. So I wanted to get him out of my sight. You're right, but I did think about it. I was like, Cam Akers goes down. Madison had a lucky touchdown. I'll give him that, but he's the running back one. He kind of sucks, but in my mind, he's a little step down from Brian Robinson, and then
that's ridiculous.
and then Taysom Hill. Look at Taysom Hill's game log.
No. I know, but this is Taysom Hill. We have to keep that in mind. But yes,
but he's doing pretty 4 weeks in a row of solid points.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's back to his old ways. But I just felt confident. I got hurt. I was going to be starting K. Dotton or something who got 3 points anyway. So whatever. And then Addison, I love rookie wide receivers. I tried to get Zay Flowers from Steve. I maybe texted him 10 times. He probably was annoyed, but at the end of the day, I didn't get him, and I had to settle with another favorite rookie wide receiver, and
your Vikings.
I love the Vikings. That's another thing.
I was going to say, when I texted you and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I think you texted back and said, my Vikings.
That's true. But
yeah.
In all seriousness, I did not have it in my mind like, oh yeah, I'm getting fucked this trade. Like in my mind, I thought it was even, and I stand by it.
Yeah. So, yeah, think about it this way. You basically, this is like trading Brian Robinson for Alexander Madison and DK Metcalf for Jordan Addison. Like, think about it that way. And then you like just kind of get Taysom Hill for free. I don't know if that makes a difference. Like, at this point, Chip was going to get George Kittle. You should have just fucking said, give me George Kittle. That, at least at that point, I'd be like,
we had another trade come through. You know, we got to follow up to
George Kittle one?
Not George Kittle, but
is this one today? Did I miss another one?
No, you'll see. It's the other one that happened, but
okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10 here, like Chip gets a 10 out of 10 for this trade, and then I'm giving you a 1 out of 10. I'm giving you a 0 out of 10 actually. Until Alexander Madison scores 10 points in a game, this is a 0 out of 10 for you. Okay, like scores 10 points in a game on your roster. I know he's done it like before. Like you looked at Alexander Madison's game log and you were like, yeah, 9 points, 5, 3. Yeah, and this guy's pretty fucking good. I can't lie.
I also had him in my other league and had him started and he got 16. So it's like, all right, this is sweet.
But did
Everything's
you
gonna
even
go
see
really
how he
well.
caught a 40-yard
I
touchdown
know.
pass?
It wasn't he caught a 40-yard pass, and then a couple plays later was a 2-yard touchdown pass. But yeah, I don't know, man. No Akers. I'm like, all right, he's gonna get volume even though he sucks. I trust him.
But- what do you have against Brian Robinson?
I
Brian
don't have
Robinson was
anything.
basically doing the same thing, except for he has the
Look at his
potential to score a
nah.
lot.
Look at his yards per carry though. Like they're not great.
Well, okay, all right, we're doing this now too. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess both their yards per carry before I look at them right now. I'm gonna say that I didn't even look at either of their yards per carry, but I'm gonna say Brian Robinson is averaging 3.9 yards per carry, and I'm gonna say Alexander Madison is averaging like 3.6 yards per carry. And then I'm also gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that Brian Robinson has like 2 more total touchdowns on the season, and I'm gonna guess that he also has like 170 more receiving yards. So let's check this out now.
Well, he did have a 60-yard receiving touchdown this week, so
But Alexander Madison had a
doesn't count.
40-yard receiving reception. So
Doesn't count.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, that probably doesn't count. Okay, so Alexander Madison is averaging 3.5. Okay, so I said 3.6. Brian Robinson is averaging 4.0, and I said 3.9. So the gap is even bigger than I thought. I thought it was 3.9 versus 3.6. It's actually 4 to 3.5. And then
Robinson hasn't hit like a lot. I don't know. I just thought he'd hit more yards.
Brian Robinson has 8 touchdowns this year. Alexander Madison has 3. So Brian Robinson has 5 more touchdowns. I thought he said 2. So this is even blowing my already low expectations out of water. And then Alexander Madison has 164 receiving yards. Brian Robinson 256. Okay, so he only has like 100 more receiving yards. But
you got to think about this though. They had Cam Akers there. He was hogging everything for 3 games maybe. And now he's free.
I'm gonna go out on a limb right now. We're gonna check a couple box scores, and I'm gonna say Cam Akers had. Well, do we know what Cam Akers' first game was? Was it the Bears? I think it might have been the Bears.
I don't know.
Let me check. Okay. Yeah, so I think that had to be his first game. Only 1 carry, right? Like it's got to be it. I'm checking the Chiefs just in case, but I'm pretty sure that was his first game, which we wouldn't count. Okay. So this is way worse than we're just gonna go to Cam Akers. Cam Akers was hogging all the carries, getting 5, 5, 1, 10, 9,
whoa.
8.
Were those games? Oh, never mind.
Yes, these are. This is what I was trying to say because I think even Mike said something about like.
But 10, 9, 8. That's almost splitting.
Okay, I would say it's almost splitting if Madison wasn't getting 16, 16.
Yeah, that's almost splitting.
18. Yeah, it's almost. I don't know. Almost splitting. He's getting like 2 times the carries as him.
Almost 1.5, but.
Paul looked and was like 2.8 yards per carry, 1.9, 2.4. Nope. I got to get this fucking guy on my team.
I just needed a whole revamp of my roster. Maybe it didn't work out.
Exactly. That's what my whole thing is this wasn't. I don't think that you thought that this trade was like totally completely whack. I think if like if your team was and I know you're going to say like, oh, my mentality would be different, which is also the problem, but like if you were even like 4-6, right, I don't think you would have made that trade. You would have, because I don't think you would have been like, I'm going to win more games off this, you know. I think you were like, my season,
I wouldn't have traded him, that's for sure. I wouldn't have traded him if I was not in my position, but like I said, I hated DK. And Brian Robinson, Steve had the chance to get Brian Robinson like 3 times and just never answered my text, so I gave him.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking worse and worse by the week when Austin's starting like Miles Sanders weekly, and you offered him Brian Robinson and Nico Collins.
I wish that happened at that point.
Miles, yeah, that Nico and Brian Robinson for Miles Sanders could have gone down as the worst trade in Footbap history. Like, this one's up there though. This one actually, by the end of the year, when Alexander Madison ends as like running back 40 and Jordan Addison, after being wide receiver 10 when you traded for him, when he ends at like 20 to 24 or something, and like because I think Addison's going to end with a bunch of like 8-6, 15-8-6, like I think he's going to be like fine. I just don't think he's going to do anything. And then DK is going to be getting like double-digit points. Like by the end of the year, that might be the worst trade.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So then, then Chip trades Jared Goff for Trevor Lawrence, which was baffling to me. I don't know if Chip thought he was getting an upgrade there. I don't know. What did you think of that? I thought that trade was fucking horrible.
Yeah, I'd much rather have Goff probably.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because Trevor Lawrence still has yet to have over like 16 points in a game. Okay, he had one game where he had 18, and then two points, 14, 18, 14, 15, 16, 14, 9, 17. And like, look, Jared Goff is totally mid. Don't get me wrong, but at least Jared Goff, like, there are some weeks that like if he
he could
plays
hit the 20s.
yeah, he could play a bad defense like the Chargers and score 21, or like Carolina 27, a bad defense like Tampa Bay 22. You just can't play him against good teams, basically. But I'd rather have that. But that didn't even matter anyways, because then, well, it could have mattered this week, but ended up not being. But either way, it looks like so. Oh, that's a trade that already happened, and that's a trade that already happened. So then this one was also insane at the time. Historical ass, which is Paul, trades Lamar and Nico Collins for, at this time, Justin Fields, who was injured, and Michael Pittman Jr. Paul walk and again, my theory is Paul was pissed at Lamar Jackson and mad that he made that trade earlier this year and was just selling Lamar for anything.
Not anything. That's
for
a
injured
fair
player.
trade.
Okay, you're
Come
4-6. Justin Fields hasn't played in 4 weeks. He didn't have a chance to play last week. Are you making that trade?
Probably not. But
this is the fucking problem. I keep saying. That's why I'm saying, like, it's not even about having something to like play for, right? Like, because admit it, if there was a punishment for last place, would that have changed anything you did? I don't think it would have, right? Because
I don't know.
I mean, because in my mind, I would be like, the odds of me actually getting last place are like slim to none. Like, even if I make it down there in the losers bracket, like, I can still just like win, like win games. But yeah, like if there was a punishment for last, would that have changed anything?
Not really. I swear, I saw the literal coach of the Bears saying Fields was questionable and all this shit. And
He said he was doubtful. He said he was
I
doubtful
know,
and out, actually.
day to day, all that shit. Like it was, and day to day when you have a Thursday night game, I'm like, okay, he's got whatever amount of days that is, 9, 10, 11, till his next game. So I figured he'd be fine, and looks like I'm on the right track, hopefully.
Yeah, it looks like I think he might actually end up being fine.
Yeah.
But
so I'm hoping it works out.
Yeah.
But I like Pittman way more than Nico, now that Tank Dell's insane, so.
Yeah, no, like Pittman and Nico I think are like pretty equal. Like I would rather have Pittman over Nico slightly. Like I don't think it's like a huge difference, because I know I think that Nico can have like 30 points in a game, but I think he can also have like 4. But Pittman's probably going to get like 12 points, like 12 to like 15 every week. And I don't even think the quarterbacks, when healthy, are that different. It's just at the time the trade was made Friday morning, when like the day after, it was like 2 days after, like Justin Fields was ruled out on like Wednesday, which means there was no chance he was playing Thursday, right? Which was like, I was like, dude, Paul can just like trade for a fucking injured quarterback right now. Like, oh God. Also, it's hilarious. Like, Lamar Jackson is projected 20 points plus points every single week and has been since 2019. Like, I would love to go through the numbers and see how many times that motherfucker hits 20 points, because it feels fucking rare, dude. Because I'm not a big Lamar Jackson guy. My main problem with this trade was just that I was like, they were like, the coach on Wednesday was like, he's out and he's having pain gripping the football. And I was like, are you fucking serious? That's why I was like, what the fuck is happening? But that trade's like fucking whatever. I feel like I would probably rather slightly have Lamar, for the sheer fact that like I know that for the rest of the season he's probably going to score 30 points on Cincy and 30 on like the Chargers at the very least. But oh well. Mike adds Johnny Smith. Dewey adds Jake Moody. Jesus, I don't even really remember this one all that much. What is? Oh, this is just the trade that already happened. I saw
Yeah.
DeMarcado. I was like, who traded for him? Um, and then okay, that kind of gets into after the games. Either way, before the game started, Chip picked up Tyler Boyd, which was a good pickup, and I was shocked no one else did. I didn't pick him up because I didn't have anyone to drop because I had like fucking. I don't think I
I
had
put
anyone
in
to
a
drop.
bid, but I put $0 in, so I assumed I'd need all the $18.
Let's see if you. Let's see. Was that Saturday? This is crazy though.
Yeah.
So what exactly gives Chip the tiebreaker over you?
I don't know, because I've lost
That's
fucking 8 million games in a row, so I
yeah.
don't
I
know.
guess they're like punishing you because I thought if it came down to two players that put a bid on the same person, I'm checking this out because I feel like that's not right. There's no fucking way.
Oh
Right?
well.
No,
And
no.
Boyd had a good game too.
Budget tiebreaker. What the fuck is this? Reese?
Order of standings? What a
No,
scam, dude.
the inverse order of standings.
Bro,
That doesn't even make sense.
I got scammed big time.
I've never changed that, by the way. Yeah, so because I was gonna say it should inverse order. Wait a second, that would mean you'd get it. I don't
Yeah,
understand what just
I
happened.
first bid if we tie. Or first whatever.
What was the snapshot last week? Do we need a
If I'm
snapshot
nowhere
of this?
near me, I can tell you
Oh
that.
yeah, because you're in the same division too. I was gonna say maybe he was in the other division and you were like technically above him there. Yeah, like you got fucking scammed. That's a glitch in the
That's
system.
tough.
That is a glitch in the fucking system. You could have used Tyler Boyd. All right, let's
I
get to
know.
this. Let's get to the games last week. This shit's fucked. So, if anyone was wondering, basically, long story short, Chip's entire team is just different people. Paul made a completely ass trade, which when we get to Chip's game, let's go to Chip's game right now. Since Chip made all the fucking trades and got a whole new team. Chip wins 112 to 95.78. And I already went through and looked. If Paul didn't trade him B-Rob and DK Metcalf, Chip would have lost because I'm assuming I put in like had like Addison and Madison there. So like assuming that he would have lost like 95 to like I don't know 82 or some bullshit. So Paul basically gave Chip a win this week. Is that fair to say, Paul?
I mean, yeah, technically I did. I also have something to say about Mike's situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at his bench, you'll see Keaton Mitchell.
Oh, not
He had
only
13. Okay, never mind. Murray and okay. Originally I told Mike to bench Keaton Mitchell for Zeke Elliott, and he didn't listen to me and did Murray instead. Zeke had like 3 points, so I'm really glad he didn't do that.
where the fuck is Zeke
So
on his team? I
he
didn't
didn't
even
pick
see
him up. It
Zeke.
was
Oh,
between Murray or Zeke, and he went with Murray.
yeah.
So
So my
it
main
worked out.
my main thing was first of all, great call by Mike to get 13.9 out of Murray. So yeah, Latavius Murray outscored Keaton Jones, which I was gonna feel really bad about because we were shitting on Mike for like, man, he's
Yeah,
really gonna start Keaton Jones, and then on Keaton Jones only touched the ball 4
3
times.
carries. Oh
Yeah,
man,
he
I
only
didn't see
touched it
that.
4 times, which was my like fear was that he was going to barely touch it. Now I don't think he's like a viable start, Keaton Mitchell, but he does have like home run ability. But that's my whole reason why like. But if you had to say between Latavius Murray getting like 8 carries and Keaton Mitchell getting like 5 to 8 carries, I'd take Keaton Mitchell. So when I saw that, I was like, I would not do that. My main
Another thing.
beef. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you
Go
go. You
ahead.
go.
No, you can
All
go.
right. All right. Another thing is Marquise Brown. Now that Kyler's back, Field Yates said something on like the video shit you can click on. Like it might have been that one or
I thought
maybe the week
these were
before.
Buckeye jerseys. Do you see this shit?
Yeah, it
What the
does look
fuck is
like it.
that? But go ahead.
But Field Yates said with Kyler Murray, Hollywood averages like 13 fantasy points per game, and he gets 3, so that's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was going to be my main beef. Is that Noah Brown? Two of my main beefs actually. One is that Noah Brown is playing Cincinnati, who they're not a bad defense, but you know that Houston's going to have to pass, and Nico Collins is out. I have no fucking idea why he didn't play Noah Brown over Marquise Brown. Like it was Kyler's first game back. Like maybe he was excited about that, but like that seemed like a no-brainer. But even more of a beef to me, and I don't have the San Fran defense, so I didn't like really know. But in my mind, like it's San Francisco coming off a
Oh man,
bye. and they're playing
Yeah.
Jacksonville, who like is an okay offense. Like I guess the Saints defense, it's so confusing because like, yeah, against Teabag and against like Mac Jones, they do good, and like Ryan Tannehill. But I don't know. My main beef is like if I have the 49ers defense, I don't know about you, Paul, but I'm playing them against everyone besides like,
Yeah, like the top 5 offenses
yeah,
pretty much.
besides like Philly and shit. Like I'm
Mhm.
playing the 49ers defense. So that was, so let's say he plays them, that's 20 point. He would have won if he literally just would. If he would have played either the Niners or Noah Brown, he would have won. Like, which is fucking crazy. So that one's gotta hurt because like, that's tough. Like Noah Brown had just scored 24 points. Like no Nico. Like, oh man, like that one, Noah Brown. Like I get it. He was probably excited about Marquise Brown. Like so, it's I don't. That's like fine. I wouldn't have done it, but like the 49ers one is like kind of crazy to me. Like it's not like who I don't know who the fuck their quarterback was before Josh Dobbs. But like now Minnesota had Josh Dobbs, who's like I don't know, dude. It seems crazy. You know what? It looks like ESPN probably tricked him. Look, they projected 4.4 points for the 49ers
Yeah,
against
true.
Jacksonville. So that probably would have fucked with my head too, actually.
I hate projections, dude.
Yeah,
Fucks
projections are
everything up.
ass, dude. They really do. That's why now it hasn't like fucked me over like most weeks, but like every week Amari Cooper has been projected like 9 points and then he gets like fucking, he like goes way over it, but it fucks me up every week cuz I look and I'm like 9 or I can do 13, And so that
Mhm.
shit's always annoying, but yeah, no, that's a tough loss for Mike. It's tough because Chip pretty much won. Kittle too got him 19. So Chip gets 19 points from Kittle, 13 from Metcalf, 25 from Brian Robinson, even 12 from Joe Mixon. The funny part is he got 2 from Trevor Lawrence. I cannot believe he thought that starting Trevor Lawrence was a good idea. He could have just started Jared Goff. I'm okay. Now I'm really fucking confused what Chip was doing because now I'm realizing that Chip had Jared Goff going against the
Against the
Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the
Oh
highest
man.
over under of the week, the worst defense in the NFL, and you're telling me he like intentionally chose Trevor Lawrence, who has had a bad year, against one of the best defenses in the NFL in the 49ers. I'm lost. Do you have any idea what he was thinking? Like, can you think of anything?
I'm not sure. I don't know what it could be. I don't want to comment.
Yeah, that's actually bizarre to me. It doesn't matter because all the other guys he got like popped off. But yeah, for Mike, that's tough. I think projections fucked him over. He probably saw 11.3 projected for Marquise Brown, 9.2 for Noah Brown. I think Mike got projection like scared. Even Keaton Mitchell
Yeah.
2.5. What do you think? That's what I think.
Yeah, for sure.
That
I hate
sucks,
projections.
dude.
I wish you could turn them off. Like
Yeah,
that'd
I
be great.
I want to turn. I'm gonna, if Mike didn't have projections, I bet he would have put in the right lineup, and that's
Mhm.
tough. That's a tough pill to swallow for Mike. So, sorry about that, Mike. That's a tough loss. And they were both 5-4 at that point, and whoever won that was basically like locking themselves into the playoffs potentially. I think Chip's kind of locked in now after that one. We'll check like the standings and stuff after. But now Mike is in more of like a 50-50 spot after that one. I played Dave, and I just got lucky that I played Dave when he had no Hurts or, well, I mean, Stroud still had 19, but he had no Hurts or Tyreek Hill. It wasn't really like all that close. One of the things that my team always does in fantasy. So I don't know about you, Paul, but do you ever have guys go off in the second half of a football game, like in fantasy?
Sometimes. That's why I don't check scores. I try not to until like 4:30.
Okay.
Like I don't like checking it in the middle of the 1 p.m. games because then it just like sets me up for stress and
Yeah. So I
yeah,
watched
so I don't
like,
really know.
yeah, I watched like the Browns and then like 4 other games, right? So I can't really avoid it for the most part because I'm watching. Um and yeah, it was I was projected to win like 130 to like 70 at one point. Or not, maybe not 70. I was projected to score a shit ton of points basically because Ayuk scored in like the first quarter and Tank Dell scored in the first quarter. Um or was it Ayuk? I'm trying to think. I think it was Ayuk. I'm pretty sure they played at one. Regardless, I think, was there someone else that played at 1 o'clock? I don't think it was. So I had Ayuk in Tank Dell, and Ayuk had 11 points at the end of the first quarter, like even like halfway through the first quarter, and Tank Dell had like 12 halfway through the first quarter. And then they end with 13 and 16, and like that's like the story of my life in fantasy. Like the last couple years, I feel like is I don't get second half performances from guys. Like any points my guys score for the most part are just like in the first half. It makes me jealous watching like someone have like a player that scores nothing in the first and then like 20 in the second half, and I'm like, that shit never happens to me. Like I pretty much get set up for disappointment because my guys do really good in the first half and then nothing the rest of the game for the most part. Like it's not always, but like 90% of the time. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, Dave started Hopkins. Like outside of that one game, Hopkins has been ass, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Hopkins ass. Kamara must had a bunch of garbage time points because they were losing that whole time, and Kamara had like 1 point in the first half, and then he ends with 15.
Is Derek Carr's injury serious? I haven't looked at it at all.
Oh, I haven't looked at it either. When we get to
Damn. So
Nick's
I'm
thing, we can
hoping,
look at his like
yeah,
thing.
I'm hoping Jameis is like the starter going forward. I love watching him play.
Yeah, Jameis is awesome to watch. He's either gonna throw like the worst interception you've ever
Yeah.
seen or like the craziest
He just
touchdown
throws
you've ever seen.
whatever.
Yeah, no,
It's awesome.
seriously. But yeah, Dave's team, it doesn't really matter for Dave. Like depth, I feel like doesn't matter for Dave when he has people that can score like 30 every week. But I think like yeah, this is kind of your fear with Dave is like, hey, if he has bye weeks, he's kind of fucked. And that's pretty much what happened. Wow, Elijah Moore, that's probably his first time scoring double digits. Yeah, it was between, like it's tough because like Amari, Tank Dell, Ayuk, and Garrett Wilson, they like all basically do the same thing, and it's like I just have to guess which week which one of them isn't going to score double digits. They all did this week, but that'll be tough going forward. That was a pretty big win for me though, because me and Dave were both 4-5. So yeah, I beat Dave. That's a little roommate rivalry going on there. Let's get to. Oh yeah, so it didn't end up mattering, by the way. But Ryan and Nick sad played. Ryan wins 105-87. This is a game where I said Derek Carr got injured. He had 5 points. It didn't matter because Keenan Allen scored 35 points in the 4 o'clock games. But going into those 4 o'clock games, Nick was like projected to win, and then yeah, I mean Derek Carr getting hurt didn't help anything. Nick's team like isn't bad at all. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've.
with Rashad White is doing much better than I thought he would be, and Najee Harris gets 17, which is a miracle. Like those are big games.
Yeah, exactly. And he had Mahomes on a bye.
Yeah,
If he had
damn,
Mahomes, who knows? Maybe he
he just
could have
got
fucking
fucked.
won.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because Derek Carr scored 5. Patrick Mahomes could have just scored 25 or 20 and just or 25. Yeah, like 20 more than 5, and then could have won. Either way, this is a Ryan win, right? You get 35 points from a motherfucker. David Montgomery has the longest run of his career, touchdown, and it's like it's two guys and you win the game. Like I don't know. It's like it makes me sick looking at Ryan's fucking team that he scored only 3 points less than me and he had all these motherfuckers do nothing for him. But my team just is like 15, 12, 13, like everyone doing like a little bit, and it just pisses me off. Yeah, Rashad White's good. Jamar Chase caught that long touchdown. Yeah, I'm not really missing anything. Nick loses again, but I don't think Nick's team is
yeah.
really all that bad. Ryan a
Was
much
freaking
needed.
out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a big win for Ryan. He was freaking out in the Monday night game because he was having flashbacks to Josh Allen week 1, just throwing fucking 4 interceptions or whatever, and
Oh,
him
because
losing.
Nick had the Bills
Yeah,
defense.
yeah, the Bills, like I don't know, played normal. I
uh,
mean, it was still not that close. And Gabe Davis actually had 8 points, so that was nice. If he had 0 and the Bills defense did something, that would have been scary.
yeah, imagine the Bills defense had a Seahawks against me Monday night 30-point game, and then like, I mean, if that happened, Nick would have won. I'm realizing, yeah. But yeah, the Bills only get 30 points when they play me. Are you fucking kidding me with this game log? The
Double
Bills,
digits
the
even.
Bills, since they scored 31 points and Nick Beebe by 1 point, have gotten 7-4-6-1-5-0-6. That makes me sick, dude. That's
Not bad.
fuck. Especially the worst part is that was against Washington. They scored 31 points. Like Washington's like a good offense. Oh man. Either way, Nick or Ryan, much needed win. I feel like to secure his spot in the playoffs. This game didn't really matter all that much. Steve and Austin were pretty much locked up. Austin was already
Yeah,
7-2.
but
Steve was 6-3. But
this is
yes,
big for the 1 seed though.
yeah, that is true. Steve wins 140-79. Um, if they get the same record, Austin's team has not scored nearly enough to win any tiebreakers. So Austin might not. Austin will have a tough time getting a tiebreak or getting a 1 seed because he doesn't hold tiebreakers over any team in playoff contention. Um, but yeah, no, potentially a big loss for seeding for Austin, but I still stand by Austin is going to have to lose the next 4 games to even have a chance at not making the playoffs, like which is going to be hard to do. He needs to win 1 game in these last 4 and he's in the playoffs. I just can't imagine he wouldn't.
That'd
But yeah,
be
no.
monumental.
Yeah, no, that would be crazy. Like Chip was on his way, dude. Like I said, Chip, if he didn't make those trades,
Yeah.
if he didn't have Paul hand him a fucking win this week, Chip would have been 5-5, and it would have been scary because I think Chip is also like I don't think he's over 1,000 points scoring either. So he's in like the area of like me and probably Austin is around there if I had to guess. I don't know what the points are at right now. But yeah, either way, Steve beats Austin. Bad. Hawkinson 25. Geno Smith he had to start and he went off. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, Austin. Austin has no Jefferson. Cup was on a bye, but Cup's been sucking anyways. It would be like, why did he bench Sam Howell for Will Levis? Didn't even realize
I
that.
don't know. Will Levis had 1 good game.
Yeah,
I feel like he won't bench him anymore.
Yeah, but even if Will Levis had 1 good game, Sam Howell's games have been 17, 30. He's had 25, 18. Like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's QB5. Damn.
Yeah, I know. I think he leads the league in passing yards, and I think they've already had a bye.
That's crazy.
No, they haven't. That's okay. So they haven't had a bye. That makes a lot more sense. But yeah, man, Austin should be locked in as long as he doesn't like totally choke. But they're both 7-3. Wow, we got 4 7-3 teams I can see later on. Let's just get to a 7-3 right now before we get to the fucking piss bowl. So, oh wow, okay, Kyle beats Gorman 150-66, but Gorman had AJ Brown out, who's like half of his team. DeAndre Swift, who's like 25% of his team. Gorman was set up for failure this week. Everyone sucked on his team that even played anyways, and I still feel good about Gorman. You have a couple bye weeks, and you have Derrick Henry get you 2 points and shit. Like, tough to win. And then Kyle, for anyone that remembers, I had an entire rant about how CeeDee Lamb is a wide receiver too. Like he's not like one of the elite, like top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. And I think Kyle owes me a fucking thank you, dude, because I said that, and then CeeDee Lamb became the first player with 10 catches and 150 yards in 3 straight games in NFL history. Actually historic, right after I said that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm still not changing my stance on him because I just don't think he like runs good enough. Like if you watch the Cowboys, have you watched much of the Cowboys, Paul?
Not really.
It's not even just CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, they're just wide open every fucking play for some reason. I don't know if they're drawing up like some awesome plays or like if it's, Philly's pass defense sucks and the Giants suck, obviously. But dude, it's fucking wild. I'll if I went back and like saw whatever list we made of like which players were better, I'd probably move him ahead of like a decent amount of like the lower end guys that I was 50-50 on. Like I had him 50-50 with I don't know, Chris Olave, and it's like, okay, I'd move him above Chris Olave. Like those kind of guys, I'd move him ahead. I still wouldn't move him ahead like Jefferson or AJ Brown, like Amon
Yeah,
Ra,
no
like
way.
those guys. Like so and my main point in saying that he wasn't top 15 wasn't even that like he wasn't good. It was just that there's a shit ton of really good wide receivers in the NFL, you know? Cuz I was thinking like Amari Cooper, like he's a top 15 wide receiver, and then like you think about names of like good wide receiver and it's like, man, there's a lot of really fucking good wide receivers in the NFL. But yeah, no, Kyle owes me a thank you because I lit a fire under CD Lamb, and has his, but I would imagine this 34 and 35 pointer are the two actual best games of his entire career. um could be wrong, but man, Kyle pissed on Gorman. Gibbs had 25 points. I just can't. I don't even like know what to think about the Gibbs situation. Like
Dude,
I
yeah.
really don't.
It's I didn't think he would do shit because Montgomery's back, but they actually threw him in like at the goal line and stuff. So
Yeah, actually, did
it's
you
just
hear
weird.
about that? Was David Montgomery? They tried putting David Montgomery in, but David Montgomery said like, no, like Jameer, you drove us down the field. You stay in and get the
Oh,
touchdown.
what a
Yeah,
guy!
yeah. So that was pretty sweet of him. Yeah, Mike Evans catches like a 50-yard touchdown every week. Dude, Nick Barlow had Mike Evans last year, and he fucking sucked for him. And so to come around and like Mike Evans is like the best fucking receiver in NFL history this year is
With
wild.
Baker as his quarterback is also insane.
Also, Paul had Dak Prescott, and he dropped Dak Prescott. And ever since Paul dropped Dak Prescott, he's had 25, 28, 28, 38 fantasy points. Paul, how does that
That's all
feel? And
right.
you love
It's
Dak
like
too.
how I no, he
No,
wronged me last
remember?
year.
Remember last year you picked him in every fucking league you were in?
And he sucked, dude. I don't like him now.
But you
I
picked him
liked
up
him last
earlier
year.
this year. You picked him up earlier this year.
But it's the Cowboys, dude. They're gonna
Oh, there
cool
he
off
is.
and
Historical
lose again.
ass drops Dak Prescott to waivers. That might go down. Man, that's a good screenshot to have for the future. I might have to
Who else
screenshot
did I
that.
drop? Oh, CJ Stroud. That's another bad one.
Oh God, you had two like top 12 quarterbacks and you just dropped them both. That's actually fucked. Um, yeah, that's that. That is that. I don't trust Aaron Jones. Fuck it, dude.
The Packers suck.
Yeah, now we go to the Piss Bowl. But like I said, Dewey's team isn't even that bad. I never thought Dewey. Well, I not that I never thought, but um, Dewey's team, like I could tell his team was on the come up like a few weeks ago before he played me. Thankfully I beat him, but Paul ball loses to Dewey. Paul's in sole possession of last place right now. Um,
No, we have tied records, but I'm in
no,
last
oh yeah, I guess not sole
overall.
possession. Yeah, you Paul is in last place because he lost the Piss Bowl to Dewey. They got the same record, but Paul has less points than Dewey, and we'll get to that. It's actually depressing. Um, 13 points from Lamar. Like oh my fucking god. Brian
Well,
Robinson
Madison
scored
got
20.
hurt. All right, let's
Brian Robinson
get that
scored
out of the way.
25 points himself. Madison, Addison, and Taysom Hill combined for like 15 points. It's like 15, 16 points.
Madison got hurt. That's my excuse.
Those
Don't
three
care.
combined for 10 less points than Brian Robinson. Paul, thoughts?
Um, yeah, I'm not worried.
Not
Not worried at
worried.
all.
All right. Now let's do a little let's play this game hopefully for the last time. Panic level on Jerry Judy who scored 5 points.
I think I can finally admit it's not his year.
It'll never be his year. I don't think he'll ever have a year. Panic level on Calvin Ridley.
That also, that's I'm at the maximum level for all these guys.
Yeah, is there
They're
besides
the only
Johnny
two.
Taylor?
Also, yeah. Besides Goddard, Ridley and Judy are the only other two players that are still left on my team from
Yeah.
the OG.
Oh yeah, because Nico's.
Oh, and Quentin Johnston. I don't think I have him anymore. I think I dropped him. But
Quentin Johnston
and he
puts up
caught a
11.
touchdown, dude.
Caught a touchdown on the bench. Yeah, no, but Dewey's team's solid. Like Kyler's good, Bijan good, Saquon's
Yeah.
okay, but Lockett's hit or miss. Devontae's average at this point. Dalton Kincaid's good. Gus Edwards is good. And then even on his bench, yeah, Ramondre on his bench, man. Like his
Ferguson
team's
too.
yeah, Jake Ferguson too. Like, dude, Dewey's got to fucking trade those motherfuckers away, dude. Might as well. I mean, I don't know what he can do to like win games, but like
he can be the season ruiner. He can take it over for me. How
yeah,
about that?
yeah, exactly. Actually, Dewey is kind of the season ruiner. He ruined your season. Who did he beat the other week? Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he ended you and Nick's seasons officially by beating you guys, joining him. Oh man, that maybe that should have been the thumbnail. He's the Grim Reaper with
The new
the
season
scythe,
ruiner.
and it's like the doors with like the dead people,
Yeah.
and it's
If he wins this week, that'll be it for sure.
yeah, you Nick, who I don't know who he plays this week, but if he wins that, then
Yeah, I'm not
the
sure either.
last door is like whoever. Yeah, Dewey could be the season ruiner. Actually, the real season ruiner, because Paul at this point is just historical ass. Let's take a look. If anyone wants to look, this man's historical ass. Um, so that's the piss bowl. Congrats to Dewey on winning the piss bowl by a landslide, 111 to 65. That's fucked. All right, that was all the games. Yeah, so let's go
Yeah.
to the standings as it stands right now. Gorman, we'll figure it out with it. I don't want to spoil for myself. But either way, in the East, Gorman's in first place in the East, 7-3. Austin second, 7-3. Chip third, 6-4. Me fourth, 5-5. Nick 2-8. Just Paul last in the East, 2-8. Man, this might be the like. I bet if you went back and looked, this is the first time in Footbap history that you're probably last place in a division past like week 5. I feel like.
Yeah, for sure, dude. My worst season was like maybe like 6 wins, I think.
Yeah, 6
But
6-7, and I think you
yeah.
still made the playoffs. That was my worst season too. Was when I went 6-7 and I made the playoffs as the last seed. I actually won it that year, and my team
Also,
sucked.
yeah, that's fucked up. Also, why do I have a 0% chance while Nick and Dewey have 1%?
I don't
We
know.
have the same
I
record.
wonder if you should be mathematically eliminated. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So you don't
guess. But
have a
like, shouldn't they
chance.
be 0?
No,
They
I'm
should be
looking at
0
the
too.
app right now. I'm looking at on the football app. They have if you're eliminated or not. You are the only
Why the fuck
person
am
with
I?
the only person with an E next to their name.
Why?
It must
They
be
have the same record.
it must be that Nick and Dewey play enough people that are in the playoffs to like win games,
Strength of
and like
schedule or something?
it's
Who knows?
probably an entire like model where it's like
Yeah,
technically
makes
like
sense.
I can lose 3 games, and
Mhm.
Ryan can lose 3 games, and Nick can lose 3 games, and if they win out, like your schedule just must
Yeah,
not
I know what
allow
you mean.
for it. but that's
That's so
hilarious.
bad.
Looking at the app, and it's everyone in the play, everyone's still like technically alive, and then Paul has an E next to his name. wait.
The season's officially ruined for me.
Yeah, wait. This is what I should have been the thumbnail. Just E next to you. Wait, oh yeah, it's too late to edit that thumbnail, right? It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too late. I don't even know how we can incorporate it, but the E next to it is fucking hilarious. It's so funny seeing the E next to your name right now. Let's go to the West. Oh, Kyle's in first in the West, 7-3, but I think he was last year too. Steve in second at 7-3. Ryan in third at 6-4. Mike in fourth at 5-5, and Dave in fifth at 4-6, and Dewey in last in the West at 2-8. So they have Kyle at a 99% chance, Steve at a 99% chance. I agree with both of those. Gorman at a 98%. I think he should be 99. Austin at a 95. I'd agree with him having a lower percent because I'm pretty sure he scored like significantly less points than those 3. Chip at a 92%. I'd agree with that. Ryan at an 87%. I'd agree with that. I don't know why I'm at a 64%. That seems
Just
way too high.
You, Dave, and Mike.
Yeah, it seems like it should be like, if I had to give them, I would say like 45, and like 45. Like or maybe Dave like 40 just because he technically has one less loss, or one more loss. But I don't know why I'm at 64%. Let's look at the scoring. Wow, man, I have 30 more points than Austin on the year, and he's fucking 7-3. God damn. All right. Highest score on the year as of right now is Kyle. Lowest score is Paul. Paul has scored 830. The next lowest has scored 882, and the next lowest after that is 911. Let's see. Most scored on. Let's check. My scored on I think has like gone down a lot. Yeah, because I've had 2 straight weeks of people scoring like 70 on me. So that's nice. But most scored on is Dave at the top, and then Nick, Dewey, Steve. Lowest scored on is Ryan. Still, no one's going to beat Ryan there. Still
Yeah,
100
that's
points
crazy.
back. Like
Holy
that's
shit.
actually fucked. Kyle second lowest scored on. Yeah, it's basically if you said like the points 4 tier, it's like Kyle, Steve. I would put them like together, and then I'd put Chip and Ryan together. Whoa, Chip's at because Chip just scored like 160 points in a week recently. I think like last week, not last week, like the last week before the last. Okay, it was week 8. Wait, who am I on right now? What didn't he just score like 150
I
points?
have no idea.
Pretty positive.
147.
150. That was
And
week
5.
5. That's a long time ago, actually. That seems so recent. Um, Either way, chips up there. And then yeah, me and Dave. Oh my God, has Gorman's fallen off? I guess.
He just had a terrible week. He scored like 60.
Was it just this week? It had to be 2 weeks in a row that were bad, right? No, it was really just this week. So that's wild because I would not have guessed. I only put up 108. I would not have guessed that I'm only 20 points behind Gorman or 30 points behind Gorman. That's actually kind of crazy. Maybe Gorman the 98 makes sense now, I guess, because he doesn't have as much as them, but that's crazy, man. All right, projected playoff bracket as it stands right now. Kyle is getting the bye. Was he getting the bye last week? I think it was Gorman last week, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was
Yeah,
Gorman.
so Kyle's the number 1 overall team, getting a bye week as of right now. A first round matchup, the 2 versus 7, Gorman versus me. I've snuck myself into the 7th spot as of right now, and I'd be playing Gorman. 3 versus 6 is Steve as a 3 seed versus Chip, the 6 seed. And then the 4-5 is Austin versus Ryan. Let's see who all was new. Yeah, Chip and Ryan. That's crazy. The 2 new people are just gonna make it like comfortably. Um, the 9 seed is Dave playing the 8 seed Mike in the losers bracket. Dewey would be playing Nick, a brotherly matchup in the losers bracket, and then Paul, congratulations, you get a first round bye
Yeah.
as the worst team in the league.
Thank God.
Wild. Let's look at the projected standings now. All right, let's see this shit. So Kyle is projected to finish first overall. Steve second. Gorman third. Austin fourth. Yeah. Austin 7-3. That makes sense. Chip fifth. I think that Chip could pass Austin. I don't know what the matchups are this week. Either way, sixth is Ryan. They don't like Ryan that much, dude. They're not like feeling Ryan. He's been dropping. Remember, at one point he was like 2, and every week he keeps dropping more and more. I'm at 7. Mike is at 8. Projected finish. Dave projected finish 9th. Nick is projected to finish 10th, Dewey 11th, and there is Paul projected to finish last place.
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go. We got new messages in the message board. This was last week. Yeah, this was last week, November 8th. And then Mike adds a new message to Okay, Mike adds a new message. So the title of this message is Maybe the Widest. And it says the question is about Chip's girth. All right, Singletary.
Uh-huh.
All right, what do we think? What do we think we're gonna go with this week?
Nick.
Nick.
Enjoys.
Nick enjoys.
And then question mark.
Nick enjoys. Okay, now the message.
Say. I don't know, dude. Just send it. Just submit it.
Okay, I'll just say ass. All right, so now we got a new What the fuck, dude? It just bolded it.
Ah.
I didn't underline or anything. So
That's good.
this is Nick enjoys question mark, and the message with it is say ass. All right, let's go. Now let's look at the matchups for this week, Paul. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Starting off a long time rivalry, me versus Mike. Both 5-5 too. I didn't even really
This is
realize
a
that.
huge game.
Yeah, this is it's actually a massive game. Yeah, it's me versus Mike. As of right now, I'm projected to win by 9. Apparently Garrett Wilson's questionable. That's not good. Yeah, this is a little rivalry though. Me versus Mike. A rivalry. Mike actually the other day just dropped a 19 kill Fortnite win. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw the picture. Keep it on,
Yeah,
Mike. Proud
yeah,
of your work.
that's pretty good. Paul, how about you give me your rundown on this game? Because I feel like it's just a
Mm,
50-50.
seem I don't know. I do feel like you would win if I had to pick. Mike did learn his lesson. He's got 49ers and Noah Brown in there now.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
got Mostert back. Could be 30 points. Could be
Oh God,
10.
yeah, yeah.
So there's that. Daryl Henderson, I don't know how I feel about him.
I think he'll
But
do good. The Seahawks suck. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
scared. I know Amon Ra's probably going to score 25. Detroit's defense like isn't that good. DJ Moore's got Fields back. I feel like DJ Moore is going to
mhm.
do pretty good. Arizona's
Mike's
defense
yeah,
sucks. Yeah, I
Mike's
mean,
tight end too is pretty solid as long as they play. Like I
yeah,
think
no,
it's more even than what the line is. That's for sure.
yeah, I think this is just a toss-up game. Sadly, it would have been nice to play him on a week that he had like buys or some shit. It would have been nice to be playing you this week, to be honest. I was thinking that when I looked at your lineup, I was like, why can't I be playing you? Yeah, this is a toss up game. I'd probably take Mike plus 9.2. That seems like a lot of points. Yeah. All right. So that's a little rivalry game going on there, and now we got another blowout waiting to happen. Steve is rejected to beat Paul 106 to 86. The line is minus 20 and a half. And Paul, how you feeling about this matchup?
Horrible. I got Johnny T, Michael Pittman, Taysom Hill. They're all gone, and
Mm-hmm.
Josh Downs. I don't know if I'd start him, but it's not looking good. I'm hoping the Tar Heel and Volunteer, my two favorite colleges, he went
Mm-hmm.
there. So maybe he'll work some magic, give me a 30-pointer. That'd be cool.
Where the Cornhuskers rank in there?
They're number 3, so
Okay.
they don't really have anyone cool.
Who you said one of them was Tennessee? Who's Tennessee?
Volunteers. What are you saying?
Didn't you
Oh,
say?
no, no, no. Ty Chandler started at Tennessee and then transferred to North Carolina.
Oh, well, I knew he went to North
Yeah,
Carolina. I didn't know that he was on
yeah,
Tennessee at one point. Yeah,
pretty
no,
sick.
Ty Chandler legacy game coming, and it's gonna be like the meme where it's like Ty Chandler scores his 4th touchdown of the day as Paul cuts the deficit to 120 to 86.
I like the
Um,
Chris Paul meme.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're gonna get pissed on, and I'm like pretty positive of that.
Hey, how about Calvin Ridley against shitty Tennessee? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm taking my
Yeah,
points here.
so Ridley's gonna go out there, get thrown to twice, and have 1 catch for 9 yards.
How about Marquise Brown? I'm feeling good
Ooh,
about him too.
Marquise Brown is gonna have 8 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. Jordan
Okay.
Addison's gonna have 1 catch for
Ah,
22 yards and a touchdown. No, he's gonna score a touchdown on
oh,
it. One
touchdown.
catch
Okay,
for
okay.
22 yards and a touchdown. Ty Chandler is gonna have 8 carries for 25 yards and 2 catches for 12 yards, no touchdowns. Kareem is going to have 12 carries for 21 yards. Fields is going to throw for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and run for 60 yards and a touchdown. I'm gonna have to listen back to this next week,
See how it
see if
looks.
I'm close. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I got for that. But yeah, no, Paul was definitely trying to win games in this league, so he traded for like 5 players that have bye weeks this week.
I did not think about bye weeks. It is week what, 11? I assume most of them are early, and then half my team's on a bye this week, so just didn't
Yeah,
work out. That's how it goes.
not good. Steve is gonna be my guaranteed lock of the week. Dewey versus Chip. Now Dewey must have buys this week, or no? Dewey's team. Oh, he does have buys.
Just
He has Brian
B-Rod.
Robinson on a buy.
Yeah.
Man, who do you even put in here? I guess JSN. I don't know. Chip wins this
He's
one.
got no T.
Chip wins this
Chip
one.
on the come up, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, an artificial come up. This is not your normal homegrown come up. This was Chip making a deal with the devil and just taking the best players from the shittiest teams that are already eliminated. Remember, everyone,
We'll
Paul
see.
has an E next to his name. Yeah, Lamar's
We'll
scoring
see how it
30,
works
like I
out.
said. Green Bay is scoring, or Green Bay. Eckler is scoring 30, and I think that alone is going to be enough. Like, it doesn't matter what anyone else does. He's getting 60 from Lamar and Eckler. That's a guarantee, actually. I'm coming back next week, and if that happens, I feel very confident in that. All right, Austin versus Kyle. Gonna be honest here with the way Kyle's team looks. I know Austin's team has wins. Kyle's winning this, but go ahead, Paul, if you have anything to comment on this.
Yeah, my take on this is that Kyle's receivers are just broken. He's got Diggs in his flex. That's how you know it's going crazy.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
just a
yeah,
flex.
just yeah.
He's putting Mike Evans in the lineup and being like, yeah, Diggs is the weak link here. He's in the flex spot. Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
Kyle seems crazy. I
Yeah,
think I said it very early on. Kyle was one of my favorites to win it, so I'm
yeah,
hoping he
but
pulls
to
through.
be fair, when you said that he was getting 5 points from Jahmyr Gibbs every week, and he had no Aaron Jones, and he had no quarterback.
I was feeling great at that point, and it paid off. I am rooting for Kyle because he lost in the championship like 2 years ago.
Yeah, when he
He
had
needs it
Christian
back.
McCaffrey. And then I think he picked Christian McCaffrey the next like 2 years, and he got hurt both years. And then he finally was like, "Fuck Christian McCaffrey, I'm not drafting him." And now he's been the best running back the last 2 years. So Kyle, you know what year that Christian McCaffrey is going to get hurt on based on what year Kyle drafts him in, basically. But yeah, no, I think Kyle's going to piss on Austin because I don't even know if Jefferson's going to be back. I have a feeling he's not going to be back, and then he's
Yeah, I don't
he's
think
going
so.
to throw in Sutton, Deontay. It doesn't really matter. Austin's losing this one. ETN's going to have a down game versus Tennessee. Have they played Tennessee yet this year? They have not. But nah, Tennessee's run defense is good.
ETN
Austin,
has to come back down to earth. Also,
yeah,
he can't continue what he's on.
yeah. Well, true. Let's see. I feel like he didn't do anything last week. Yeah, 5. Yeah. It doesn't matter though. Like that's a part. It's such a big thing to get off to a hot start in fantasy because like Austin started off like 6-0 or 6-1 or whatever, and it was basically like, hey man, my team can piss its pants, but I just like down the stretch, I just need to win 2 of my last 8 games. I'm in the playoffs. Like so it's such an advantage to win early. That's why when I lost those 2 games back to back by 1 point, like it was like, man, this fucking sucks because it's gonna come back to bite me later on. Because like think about it, at this point, say I won both of those, so I'd be 7-3 right now. Say I won one of them, I'd be 6-4. Like that's a fucking huge difference, dude. Like one game is huge, let alone 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But we got Ryan versus Gorman. What do you? I'm thinking. Let's look at these
Yeah,
matchups.
what's going on
Gorman
here?
wins. Gorman wins. I see Josh
What's
Allen and
happening?
I see opponent Jets. Gorman wins.
Oh
Just
yeah,
throwing that out
yeah.
there.
Josh Allen projected 19. I'm gonna give him 9 on a good day.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him 11. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he'll get to 11, but 9 wouldn't surprise me.
Another thing with Demont just gonna keep being the nice guy he is, and Gibbs gonna go off for 25. Monty with 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. Gibbs is gonna have 25. Yeah, I feel confident in that. Monty's gonna have 5. He's gonna give up multiple of his like goal line touches to Gibbs. He's gonna be like, "No, bro, take it." And then, yeah, I'm thinking final score projection for this. So I see AJ Brown plays KC, DeAndre Swift plays KC, Derrick Henry plays Jacksonville. Like, there's no one really I'm like afraid of here. Ooh, Thielen has been benched.
Wow,
Whoa, Gorman was
that
saying.
says a
Remember,
lot.
Gorman was saying y'all doubted my boy Thielen. Like a few. Let's see. When did Gorman say that? I'm looking this up. If it coincides with when Thielen started sucking, then I'm saying Gorman.
It had to be that it had to be after that Miami game, week
Yeah,
6.
I want to see. I'd straight up take this. I need to see this, dude.
What day? One day
Oh,
that
I found it. I found it. He spelled Thielen wrong. That's why I couldn't find it.
October 15th is when the last good game was for
He
the.
sent it on a. Oh, he said because he said it on October 15th after the game was already played. So since October 15th, he's had. So when was October 15th? Was that before the
That
bye?
was after the Miami game. Yeah, before the
Okay,
bye.
so since Gorman said y'all really doubted Adam Thielen, fucking dipshits, now Thielen's gotten him 11, 5, and 7. So this is why you don't say shit middle of the year. This is like Dewey last year saying, guys, I think I'm going to win it all. And then he fucking makes a terrible lineup decision and bada bing, bada boom. Wait, Dave said that someone in his Duncan League is trying to get him to trade for a kicker. So I'd love to know what player he's trying to make Dave pay for a kicker for.
That's a good deal. Also,
Yeah.
Ryan's starting Gabe Davis. He's stacking Allen and Davis against the Jets. That's
Let's
kind of
see what
scary.
Gabe Davis did against the Jets week 1. 4 points.
All
Let's
right.
look at Gabe Davis's game
That's a
log.
solid day. We also got Puka back in. I feel like Ryan hasn't played Puka in a while. Unless he has,
No,
I
he's
just
been
haven't
playing
noticed.
Puka. Puka's just been
Okay.
fucking his own dick with his ass. Yeah, he's gotten him 4, 19, then 5, then 4. Game log. All right. So let's see what Gabe Davis did against the Jets last year. 3 points.
31 yards.
Technically, like maybe 4 points.
Uh-oh. 3
4
points
points,
again.
4 points. 2021, 4 points. He got targeted 14 times and only caught 3 passes against the Jets. What the
That's
fuck?
crazy.
But he did have 105 yards in 2021. 2020.
I had 1 catch for 85
2020,
yards.
he had 2 catches for 16 yards and 1 catch for 11 yards. So this isn't.
Ooh.
This is not going well. I don't know if I like the Gabe Davis start, but what's he gonna do? I mean, he has to start Gabe Davis again. Yeah, throw Tajay
Get the
in.
Spears boy.
He did have 8 points last week, apparently. Gorman wins this. I'm just throwing it out right now.
I can't see it. Jerome
AJ
Ford
Brown's getting 30
Pittsburgh.
points against KC. Yeah.
Yeah, but Jerome Ford against Pittsburgh also, that's a bad matchup.
Yeah, I'm surprised they have him at 11.4. I guess that must just be because he's been doing like good. I don't know,
Sorry,
man.
Ryan.
Sorry,
I'm guaranteeing
Ryan.
your loss. I'm gonna guarantee Gorman win. Actually,
That's a good one. Yeah, Gorman's a good guarantee win. I feel that my favorite guarantee wins this week are Chip, Kyle, and Gorman. Oh,
Steve.
and Steve.
What about Steve?
Yeah. Wow, this is kind of a lame ass week, dude.
Except your game. Your game's game of the week for sure.
Yeah, me and Mike's game is close. Well, I mean, if Nick was in the playoff race, this is at least like the closest projected one.
Nick could be the season ruiner again.
Oh shit!
He has an opportunity.
Yeah, so Dave plays
He's a tight end.
Nick. If I had to bet anything, I would bet Dave money line on this. He's gonna get 30 points from Tyreek Hill and 30 points from Josh Jacobs and 30 points from Jalen Hurts is what I'm feeling. Nick is gonna be projected more points. Nick doesn't even have a tight end. If Nick picks up a tight end and plays him, dude, like
does Jamar Chase do well against the Ravens? I feel like he doesn't.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's something to look up. If he does, then he's in good hands. If he's not, I might guarantee a Dave win.
All right, Jamar Chase game log versus Ravens. 201 yards and a touchdown, 125 yards, 50 yards, 86 and 1. I guess just because the last game against them he didn't do well.
Man.
Damn, man. Damn. I don't know. Nick could win this. This is a toss-up. I can't pick a winner here. This is tough. I don't know if James Conner is going to play. Like, isn't he still coming off the IR? I don't think he played last
week.
Did he really? He did. Yeah. He did. Okay, so he's got James Conner back. Yeah, Nick's team's scary, man. Nick and Dewey both have scary teams. Like for 2-8 teams, they are not bad at all. Dave's got his work cut out for him.
Oh my god.
What?
Actually, I got a question, Dave. Why does he have Damian Pierce in the lineup?
I looked too. It's because it's bad. It's bad. Dave does not have a viable flex play at all. So,
jeez, that's tough.
Yeah, that's really, really tough.
He's got Chuba Hubbard too. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, did we already go through all the games? Did we go? Yeah, we went through Nick and Ryan and Gorman. Yeah, so those are all the games. Game of the week. Yeah, I'd say like for the stakes on the line, me and Mike game of the week. But like the game that's gonna be most fun to monitor is gonna be Nick and Dave because that's gonna be a close one. Gorman's gonna win this week. I'm going through and picking, obviously not my game, because I think that this is a week that I can pick almost all the games right.
Yeah.
Because I'm picking Steve to win guarantee, Chip to win guarantee, Kyle to win guarantee, Gorman to win guarantee. Like if you know how we've done the guaranteed win parlays, that would be what I do. Like to me that feels like we're picking Baylor. Like let's go off of last year's.
Come on, don't say Baylor.
Okay, stop. I knew you were gonna say. Okay, we're going off of last year's Big 12 college basketball, maybe, or ACC, whatever I feel fit. This one right here, this is like Steve versus Paul. That would be last year's like fucking like UConn versus DePaul. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Chip versus Dewey. That would be like Duke versus Pitt.
Like
I don't
Clemson?
think. Yeah. Pitt, Clemson. Like no, Clemson was good last year. They almost made the tournament.
Oh yeah,
they were like okay at least. I think Pitt was pretty ass. But they were ass, but like not terrible, which is why I think he gets like DePaul was just straight up shit. I'm sorry, Paul, or DePaul. Wow, that actually fits too. I didn't even mean to call you DePaul because your name was Paul. No, I'm pretty sure, DePaul was like one of the worst power conference teams. Yeah, they were 10-23 last year. So yeah, Chip versus Dewey. That would be Duke versus Pitt. Kyle versus Austin. What was like a fraudulent team last year that was like winning games, but they were ass? Purdue.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna say Kyle is Texas, or like who were the final 14? It was UConn versus who? Miami. Man, the final four. What was it? FAU versus who? Who did FAU?
Give them like Kansas or something.
Yeah. Okay. Kyle would be Kansas versus Purdue, like a good team that has like really good and is like on fire versus a team that's like fraudulently like has a good record. And then Gorman versus Ryan would be. Were there any teams that had like good players that like got hurt or something at some point and then they started losing games or something? Because I feel like that's what Ryan might be.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of injuries.
Yeah, either way, I'll just say right now, I'll say Gorman is Texas. Texas was really fucking good. They probably should have been in the Final Four last year. Gorman's Texas, and Ryan is Baylor. We'll say he's Baylor.
Yeah.
Because Baylor was like really fucking good, and then all of a sudden just like kind of stopped winning games, and we're like, not that Ryan stopped winning games, but like. Ryan was like the top of the top at one point, and now he's more closer to like, Chip and shit like Austin level the last few weeks. So that's how I'd say it. And if we did a guaranteed win parlay of that, Paul, I think we'd be winning that fucking parlay. So
that's big money.
Yeah, that's some big money right there. So Paul, do you have any other closing statements to make before we sign off here?
Just that Jerry Jeudy and Calvin Ridley, I've stuck with them all year. I still love them, but you might see one of them being dropped to waivers here soon.
Have you ever felt more betrayed than like by anyone outside of like Calvin Ridley or Jerry Jeudy? Like in the history of fantasy football, can you think of players that have like betrayed you, and where like are these the two worst ones that you would think?
I don't know if you count like Will Fuller that one year he was doing steroids when he got suspended.
No. I'm saying guys that you drafted and were shit the whole season. Not guy. Will Fuller
Dak
fucked
Prescott.
me over too, dude. Because Dak Prescott. Yeah. What hurt more? You won last year. I feel like with Dak Prescott. So
I thought that was 2 years ago.
No, last year you
I had
had Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was
Oh.
ass, and he was your quarterback. That's why I remember going into it, we were like, everyone was like, yeah, Paul's team is clearly the worst playoff team, and then you fucking won it all, dude. Like, everyone thought your team was shit, and then you won it all. But yeah, Dak, I
Guess
feel
it
like,
worked out. Yeah.
yeah, Dak ended up working out. Yeah, I
I think,
don't. Will
yeah,
Fuller,
I
that
had
sucked,
Russell
dude. I
Wilson at
had
some
him in.
point.
Oh my god, in my first year in my work league, I was the second best team, and then right before the playoffs started, I had Austin Eckler get hurt, but like a couple weeks before that, or maybe the week before, something like Will Fuller got suspended, right? Steroids. And then that was the year that Antonio Gibson was like good in fantasy, and he got hurt too. And I was like, I can't fucking believe I just lost my entire team before the playoffs, dude. It sucked so bad. But yeah, no, anyone that you can think of that has betrayed you?
Yeah, Russell Wilson and Dak are like the ones because I had them
Oh
both
my
last year, I
God,
think.
Russell Wilson last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been a really bad eye for good quarterbacks in fantasy. Like, your track record is now, it's starting to pile up.
For the record, all right, hold on. I wanted Herbert so bad. I have him in my other league. That was my number one guy, and you stole him. So.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, my next pick wasn't going to be for like 20 fucking forward picks or whatever, so I had to take Herbert then. What really sucks is that as good as Herbert's been, right? Like, and he's been very close to the tier of like Hurts, Josh Allen, like just like a point or two less per game than those guys. I was like, what? It was Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts that got picked like 5 picks before I had to pick Herbert. Like, how bad does that hurt? All it came down to was like, man, if I didn't have that goddamn 12th pick, I could have picked one of those guys in the middle round. Like, I would have been set. I mean, if I had a higher pick, I could have avoided so much actually. Man, who I really wanted? What pick I was hoping to get? I was hoping to get pick like 6, 7, like whatever, and I wanted Tyreek Hill so badly.
Same.
Like Tyreek Hill was like cuz so I was trying to do this like reverse psychology thing with you, which was saying not you but like anyone in that area, not that I would have gotten Tyreek Hill, but I was trying to trick people that I knew were good at fantasy into picking Bijan over Tyreek Hill, basically, because I kept being like, man, I did it with Chip too. I was like, yeah, dude, I don't know, like, I feel like you got to pick Bijan over Tyreek. Now it didn't matter because Eckler ended up being there, or no, I was just kind of saying like Bijan and Tyreek are on like the same level. When in reality, I was like, dude, Tyreek for me was like way up. Like if you had to say before the season started, like the guys that I wanted in the first round of my fantasy football draft based on like where they were getting taken at, like CMC, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill. I did want Bijan, like I did want him. I just think Tyreek was like safer than Bijan. That's basically where that came from. And Eckler, and those were like, I feel like, oh, and Diggs. Those were like the 6 players that I was like, I actually want to go back to the recap and see if I'm like forgetting anyone, because I might be. Like, I didn't want to pick Jamar Chase top 2 at all. But like Jefferson, McCaffrey, Eckler, Hill, Bijan, like those guys I liked a lot. And Nick Chubb. Obviously he got hurt and that sucks. But yeah, no, it's funny looking back and being like, the guys that I didn't want to draft were like Devontae Adams, Saquon. No offense, it's just because I had Saquon last year and he was so fucking inconsistent and was ass towards the end of the year. Derrick Henry. I didn't want Tony Pollard or really Garrett Wilson. I didn't want any of these people. Like basically, I pretty much started picking in the second round tier, which sucks. But yeah, no. Biggest betrayal for me in history for fantasy. Ooh, I'm trying to think, dude. It might be Michael Pittman last year. That fucking sucked.
Oh,
and now he's good this year. Yeah, I picked Michael Pittman in like the 4th round. Now of course, this year he would have been well worth a 4th round.
I wanted him last year too. I was on the train.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get over that, because typically I don't like fuck up my 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round pick. And then last year, my 4th round pick was Michael Pittman. and I want to say like my third round might have been Mike Williams, who like was the wide receiver 8 before he got hurt for the season. But yeah, that fucking sucked, dude. And I don't even
Also,
how
yeah.
the fuck did I make the playoffs last year? Go ahead.
Fucking, I joke about Judy. Like I had him in the 8th round. Like he's not. I just keep him for the fun of it. But Calvin Ridley being my 3rd round pick and being this garbage, like he's definitely taken my first
That's
place spot
Yeah,
of
that's what I was
betrayal.
gonna say. Like, I don't think I would never recover. Like, Pittman was the 4th round for me, and like a late 4th round from what I remember, or at least like mid 4th round probably. Um, dude, I would never get over the Ridley shit, especially because he like tricked you that first week too of like,
I
hey, he
know.
might be good. The funny thing is too is like if it came down to it, so like when it was getting close to my pick, first off, look at that Josh Allen right before. If it came to my pick, I remember the people I was between were Herbert, obviously. It was Herbert, Amari. Like as it was coming up, the people that I was trying to target were Calvin, Amari, Gibbs, Herbert, and Keenan Allen. Like those were like the main guys that I wanted. Um, and like just thinking about that, dude, you taking Calvin Ridley was like a blessing in disguise. Like I'm not even
I
joking.
know. So
Like
sad.
that actually, because I would have taken Calvin Ridley. I have him in my work league. I got him.
The same with. Remember, you're telling me you would have taken Dobbins too if I didn't take him.
Oh
Like,
yeah, Dobbins was another one that I was
yeah,
like, because my running backs were so fucked. Like you saved most years you take guys I want, and I'm like, man, that really fucked me over. But instead, you taking Dobbins meant I got Pacheco,
yeah,
which is like
so
massive,
fucked.
so massive. The ones that are gonna really haunt me though. Oh, this hurts so bad. Is that I picked Jahan Dotson over Mike Evans, dude. Oh god.
Oh,
When it got to my pick at this turn, and I just remembered how much Nick Barlow said Mike Evans sucked last year, and I remember how much Mike Evans sucked. And but the thing that was really in my mind was Baker never had a good wide receiver in fantasy while he was a quarterback. You know, like Odell came there and he sucked. Jarvis came there and he was like all right. But like no wide receiver ever succeeded with Baker. And then in Carolina, the Rams, like um, it's just tough looking at this 7-8 turn because when it got to my 7-8 turn, my main people I was looking at was and Khalil Herbert. I did not fucking want him, dude. I was just freaking out because I didn't believe in Pacheco. But when it got to my pick, the guys that I was looking at were Jahan Dotson, Jordan Addison, Mike Evans, and Zay Flowers. And I didn't pick Flowers because I thought I could get him at the 9-10. Um, uh, but wow, it would have been a major difference maker. Imagine if I have Mike Evans or Jordan Addison. Like Jordan Addison would have been great for me because I would have seen that the only reason he does anything in any week is because he scores a touchdown, and I could have fucking traded him and scammed someone so fucking hard, dude. Like I could have traded Addison to like I don't even know who to like Dewey and probably gotten like Bijan Robinson out of it, just being like, hey, look, he has wide receiver 10 next to his name. Jordan Addison was like that was the main one I should have picked. This is the second time, by the way, Paul, because Justin Jefferson's rookie year, I was gonna take him and then took someone else thinking I could get him the next round, and Austin got him. That fucking sucked. And then this year, like I was telling myself so hard, I am going to get Jordan. Like I want the rookie Vikings wide receiver, and then I fucking didn't do it again, dude. Now Kirk's gone and the shit changes, but like why the fuck did I not do that, dude? Khalil Herbert? Fuck me, dude. What a fucking shitty pick.
it's always painful to go back and look what could have been.
Yeah, no, actually, but yeah. Calvin Ridley. Luckily, mine is that like auction league, so I only spent like 5 of my $200 on him because I got to keep him from last year. But man, if I took Calvin Ridley in the 3rd round, I think I'd kill myself.
Yeah, luckily it's not like I have like a team that's on the edge and he's just like the person dragging me down. Like it's a kind of a good thing that I'm just complete ass.
Yeah, historic ass.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well that's gonna be the episode. Let's say bye to the viewers, Paul.
Yeah, another great week. Until next time.
Until next time, Footbap Nation. Let's ride.
Let's ride. See you.
Let's ride.